All right. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sean P back again with another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. Tonight, again, I have my esteemed guest, the King of the North, better known as Funeral Man from, oh my God, why am
Told
I having a brain freeze? Torture Talk,
you.
Torture Chamber. It's been a long day. Anyway, welcome again, my man. What's up?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, but a lot to talk about in hip hop as usual, So
Yeah.
let's get to it. So J. Cole, one of our favorite rappers from really the last year or so. It's been in a lot of the talks, a lot of the controversy regarding, of course, the Kendrick and Drake beef. Did he kick it off with 7 Minute Drill, et cetera, and he infamously bowed out, So J. Cole released a new song, Clouds, that came out, I believe it was this past Friday. Really dropped on YouTube on Thursday and dropped on Spotify on Friday. I actually did a quick review on that song. Check that out on the Hip Hop Roundtable Review site. But I got to get you first. I want to get your take on it, Reese. What did you think? Like, what's your overall take? Was it a dope song? Like, how you feel about that song?
All right, so J. Cole is in a real weird space with me right now in his
Yeah.
hip hop career. I feel like J. Cole is. I feel like he's a Mercedes Benz with no features, like just a base
That's an
good.
interesting way of putting it.
You know what I'm saying? A base model good car. Because
Yeah.
I'll listen to this song, and don't get me wrong, I think it's fire. But I think that's just it. I think J. Cole's Achilles heel is he's really good at rapping, and that's it. I
Okay.
don't feel moved anymore by his music because I feel like he hasn't, just like Drake. I think his is a little bit different from Drake's. I think Drake progression been on a decline. He hasn't progressed since Views to me.
Yeah.
J. Cole, J. Cole is like, how do I explain this? J. Cole's like instant gratification. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like this and like that. That's
Yeah.
how I feel about J. Cole. I feel like we like him. We like the song when he first dropped these songs, and then tomorrow we'll be like, oh, it's just okay.
He doesn't have
When we
staying power.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
No staying powers. No nothing to
No
keep
staying
you there.
power. I got you.
Like Port Antonio, amazing record, but I probably would never listen to it again. You know what I'm saying? Same thing
Yeah.
with this. It's an amazing record, but I
Mm.
feel like he has reached a level that we already heard this already from him. I
Yeah.
need more. If he's a part of that big three, I need something that is going to make me want to listen to him more. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I know it's kind of strange to say that the song is a good song, but at the same time, I just feel like I already heard this from you. You already been this good with your pen already. We know you're good with your pen. Like, I know
Yeah.
that. What else can you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Well,
how.
uh, uh, I see what you're saying, but for the purpose of the record, I think it did the right thing. You know what I mean? Now you mentioned Port Antonio. This to me is much better than Port Antonio. Port
Mhm.
Antonio was kind of almost like uh, J. Cole's version of the Heart Six, kind of. You know what I mean? Almost like, what are you doing, bro? What's it going to be here? Like, you're going to take pot shots at the battle, then you're going to try and like, kind of, placate to Drake, kind of like. Then
Yeah.
you're going to criticize him. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Even though it was dope rapping, this I like because
Mhm.
it's pure hip hop. It's real rap and he's showing his rap skills. You know what I mean? He's just showing, look, I'm a guy. I do this thing. You know what I mean? Rapping is what I do. It's it's a warm up. It's to get us ready for the fall off. I think it's a promo record. I think he's going to have another promo record that's going to come out, which is probably going to be more like a radio friendly joint. This is more of a hip hop joint. I definitely like the song, but and what we'll get to in Freddie Gibbs' comments, there's contradictions in this song, and I think that's maybe some of the issue that you have. Is it's like, bro, you just ducked out of a battle. You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to be rapping? You're this guy. You're the king and all this other stuff. Also read somewhere in the lyrical transcript, he might have took another side shot at Kendrick. I don't know if I'll take it that way, but like, I think the contradiction is the issue with this song. But as far as pure hip hop and a real rap, I think it definitely was effective if it's a warm-up record. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll get more into that later about how I feel about his stance in hip hop and what he's doing. As far as his lyrics, I will say that I just think sometimes I feel like with J. Cole, I feel like he's, in some ways he reminds me of Jay-Z, when not necessarily of Jay-Z, but he reminds me of what Jay-Z said back in the day when he said, I really didn't want to rap. I was just good at it and I did it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about J. Cole. I feel like he really don't want to do it, but he just do it because he's really good at it. You know what I'm saying? And for me, he hasn't, like, and I hate to say this, but he hasn't captured me after that battle. After what he did, I don't know. I kind of like, I don't know.
Changed your view about him. It just changed how you feel about him totally. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
No matter what he does now, it's empty.
It's like, yeah, exactly. I feel like it's hollow. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's the greatest thing ever,
yeah,
I still got that thing running in my head what you did, and it's like, I'm gonna get into it a little bit later about it. I don't really want to speak on it right now, but
all right, let me get to the comments now, because I kind of know where you're gonna go, and I actually got a counterpoint to that. But let's get to Freddie Gibbs' comments. Just as a little bit of a I guess a backstory, Freddie Gibbs, who is a notable rapper from this generation, the leaders of the new school generation or what have you, and has been controversial in some of his comments towards other rappers. He's been kind of a lightning rod for controversies, even his beef with Benny the Butcher, et cetera, et cetera. But is a very nice rapper. Don't get it twisted. He's my favorite rapper personally of the 2010s generation, this leaders in the new school. He has some comments to say about J. Cole's record. So J. Cole said in cLOUDs, in this new record, I charter unseen territories in order to push it farther than you had ever thought of, and I caught a lot of murder charges, turned artists into martyrs. When I rock, thought turns to goddess. He raps, right? So you already talking about murdering dudes on the mic and all that other stuff, but it's like it's the contradiction of, bro, you ducked out of a battle after you took the first shot, so it's very passive aggressive with that. So Gibbs responded on a comment on Twitter. Ends be rapping about how they kill rappers and they kill their careers and blah blah blah, but be backing out of rap beefs, So with that comment, he's directly talking to the passive aggressive nature of this dude. You know what I mean? Like, what's it gonna be, bro? like seriously. Like, in the end of the day, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? And created some controversy online. A lot of people came out about Freddie Gibbs. Oh, Freddie Gibbs, he got no right to say that. He can't hold his water with J. Cole, blah, 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 all this. Like, how dare he do this? But he's talking facts. Like, how you going to talk about you the king and you turning people to martyrs and all that? It's like, bro, you duck the biggest dude in the game right now. Like, I mean, you can't run away from that.
So, all right. So I guess we could get into it now. J. Cole's a punk, man. He's a punk.
Tell him how you really feel.
Name, but I ain't gonna say it. But he's a punk.
Yeah.
When it comes to MCing, a guy that he's one of those type of people who would they'll jump in a fight. You know how you getting jumped by somebody, and then the one of the guys, everybody runs away, and it's J. Cole's the guy that's still there and it gets caught, and he's like, no, Joe, I didn't mean to do it. That's J. Cole to me. I feel like for you to say that you're one of the big three, and you literally get on stage and apologize, tell him to take his best shot, delete the song, say you felt sick to your stomach, that is completely not hip hop in no way, shape, or form. For me, that knocked him down a peg, because for you to be that gifted and all of these years you've been saying all of these things about how you the best, you Muhammad Ali. Right now, I feel like I'm Muhammad Ali, the big three, and you've been saying you the best, you the best, you the best, you the best.
Super Bowl and all that, yeah.
Super Bowl. Then this guy, Kung Fu Kenny, comes out of nowhere and kick you and Drake in the chest, and you drop out of the battle.
But the thing about it is let's acknowledge the key part here. The dude came with the first shot. 7-minute drill was
So you come back with the first shot, which was terrible, but might I add. I know people might like it, but I think that song is horrible. It's horrible. You know what I'm saying? My opinion. It's like to come at Kendrick with that. And then you go, and I'm gonna tell you why I think he did it. It wasn't because he really felt that way. Because J. Cole been doing this his whole career, slapping people, then apologizing about it. He's been doing.
He sure does.
He also picks on people that he know he can beat in a battle. You know what I'm saying? Little Pete, Lil Pump, Kanye West. He literally gets at people he know he can beat in a battle. Yeah. Lyrically, you know what I'm saying? He can smoke those guys. And I think it was Little Yachty, the young dudes, the drill rappers. He was going crazy at them at one point. You know, and people ain't going to argue about that, but still. But then when you get in a battle with a guy who put the pressure on you, because I will go on record and say that I think Kendrick Lamar can go bar for bar anybody. But we have to be clear here. J. Cole was the better lyricist out of all those two. To me, he's the superior lyricist when it comes to writing. But Kendrick is different, and he knows that Kendrick applied the pressure on him. And I think the reason why J. Cole apologized, not because of he was scared of Kendrick or whatever, it was because the internet came at him about saying that To Pimp a Butterfly was boring, and he got on stage and he apologized about that. Oh, I didn't mean to say that about your catalog and all this stuff, because the internet put the pressure on him. And on top of that, I think that he knew something was coming down the pipeline, and he didn't want to face that. He didn't want to face those consequences, because J. Cole, in my opinion, he's not confrontational, and that's what makes me mad about J. Cole. Is everything you say is set up as a confrontation, but then you're not confrontational. All his raps are set up.
That's a great way of putting it.
But he's not confrontational at all. He doesn't do anything that would make you think that this guy wants that. He wants it. He don't want to take the crown from Kendrick.
Because obviously Freddie Gibbs got a point, you know. But the thing about it is that, all right, whenever Fall Off drops, and he comes this way with aggressive, super lyrical braggadocio about how nice he is on a mic and all this and how he's the best. In your opinion, is that going to hurt him more to you or make him look like the master MC that he is? Because to you, what you're telling me is it's just going to be all hollow fake shit because you talk all that shit. But in the end of the day, when it really comes down to being better than the best guy or the top tier guys, you just back out.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He's not, J. Cole is not the type of guy to snatch the crown from somebody's head. He wants the crown to be passed down, like passed down to him. He don't want to take the crown. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick takes the crown. Nah, it ain't big three. No, it's just big me. I don't care what you're talking about. It's about me. And I think honestly, I think that's why Kendrick is where he's at today. Because if you look at all the rappers from back in the day, from Tupac, Nas, Jay, Eminem, all the legends that were confrontational, they took the crown. They didn't nicely say it. Jay and Nas, they didn't nicely say it. Same thing with M. He ain't nicely say nothing. They took it. And I think that's where the disconnects come with me and J. Cole. J. Cole can have a classic album. Okay. But for me, it's not gonna hit me as hard as it used to because now I know when the work is on, he like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's fake energy, in other words. Fake energy.
Yeah.
I got another question for you. And this is kind of the pushback on that.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing online that there's a faction of people out there. And I even see podcasters say this. I know on According to Hip Hop, they got a couple guys on there like that. Shout out to According to Hip Hop, by the way. Great podcast. Check that out. That are saying, look, we want the guy that represents being a pure MC and pure rapping. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where they're saying that we're tired of the Kendrick and Drake shit. It's commercialized. It's, blogged out shit. They just got fatigue about it. You know what I mean? It's just to them. There's actually a narrative out there that's not hip hop. That's gossip. That's hip hop gossip. That's blah blah blah. All of that. That's for the bloggers. That's for the bloggers and the streamers. And Drake and Kendrick. We don't like that. That's a sellout battle. Mm-hmm. We want to be Team J. Cole because he's real hip hop. And going back to the battles that you mentioned, he's always kind of taken this attitude that I'm the Mr. Real Hip Hop guy. We don't like Lil Pump and we don't like these guys like that are doing the drill rap because they're commercial and Lil Yachty, they're mumble rap, blah, blah, blah. I'm for the real hip hop. And I think he has a faction of people out there that's growing that want to get behind him because he's coming on as, he's that guy for the real MCs out there. And those guys are disappointed in Drake and Kendrick because they kind of made this battle too commercialized. So we're going to root for Team Cole no matter what. And this is what it is because that faction is growing, believe it or not. You know what I mean? People do have fatigue about Drake and Kendrick. You know what I mean? So what do you think about that? That almost J. Cole by default, his fan base is growing just because he's just, for the lack of better words, just rapping. You know what I mean?
I think there's how would I say this? There's two type of hip hop listeners when it comes to these three guys. I'm gonna say one is people who hate and say that everything because let's be clear here, Kendrick Lamar is not a commercial rapper. It's just
commercial. We know that. Yeah.
You know, and it just so happens that he's in the space of that. You listen to any music, he doesn't have commercial songs. Mm-hmm. What people try to do is because he battled Drake and Drake is so big, they want to latch that on to him because now Kendrick is popular. And it's always been when we were growing up, it was always been It's always been that, oh, you don't want to get commercial. You don't want to get like basically saying, don't get too popular. You know what I'm saying? Because you become pop music. I think that the issue that a lot of people are running into when it comes to Kendrick is you can't really say that about him. You could try to play it, but you can't. Now with J. Cole, the thing is with J. Cole, to me, he kind of speaks to the generation of now because a lot of these people are not as aggressive. That's why they hate Kendrick so much, because he's so aggressive. People like that. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of people hated the fact that he actually called out J. Cole and Drake like that. Yeah. They can't stand it. But what I will always stand on this is that hip hop is a blood sport, no matter what you say. And if you're not willing, I don't care if we live in the times of what it is. The 5 guys that I mentioned, they were kings because they took the crown. Some people would say Biggie was more commercial than pop, but they both, you get what I'm saying? Biggie wasn't really a commercial artist. Same thing with Jay and Nas. Some people would say Jay was obviously more commercial than Nas. But what happened? Those dudes they played in the blood sport. J. Cole is not trying to play in the blood sport. He's trying to throw rocks over the fence at the fighters.
I think it's an interesting dynamic because I think that and social media is tied up into this too, because people want to pick a side. A lot of people want to pick a side, and I've noticed dudes in our group in Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews, and you know some of these guys that are just like, hey, just give me J. Cole because I think this beef is corny. You know, fuck this beef. I don't want to hear more about Kendrick and Drake. They're doing it all for commercialism and all this other stuff. Like, people have told me on blog posts about this. So they're just choosing J. Cole no matter what, even though he bowed out. And there's also the narrative that J. Cole was the smart guy to bow out of this because he's got a clear head and clear mind, and he could focus on a real hip hop now. You know, that's out there, and people want to believe it. And I think that we have a generation that's so polarized, and for lack of a better word, they're soft. They're soft rap listeners. I mean, some of these rap listeners that listen to J. Cole, they listen to Lil Nas X, and they like some of his music. So that should tell you a lot about what type of era we're in. You know what I mean? So it's weird. Like, can J. Cole, can he really just overcome this and just kind of just sweep it under the rug and say, all right, I'm just going to go back to doing what I was before all of this, and I'll still get the love from the fans? That to me is interesting. Like, I really have to see how this plays out.
I will say this.
Yeah.
J. Cole can get all the love and the respect, but he would never wear that. Never the crown, because what you did, he could be the guy. And I'm explaining why I think that him and Gibbs is actually a great battle. And I think
we'll get to that.
To me, I'll explain it in a second. But he could have all the fans, he could get all the fans, everybody. But you know what? There's one thing. They will never respect him as the king. Never.
Oh, yeah.
The greatest guy with the pen, but they will always say he ran from that guy or he didn't compete. Now,
you know what I think it is? I think it's kind of like, even though, and we both like Rick Ross. Rick Ross makes phenomenal music, man. Like, I mean, he's got one of my most entertaining playlists is my Rick Ross playlist. But he will never go down as like the king of his region, the king of the South, or one of the GOATs. And it's all because of that he made up his life, the CEO thing. He lied about it, and he can never live that down. I think it's going to be interesting to see if that's the same situation, because it seems like that's the same situation that's playing out with J. Cole. Like, he can never be the greatest in the game. I think the only way he becomes the greatest of the game is if he just goes all out and just does a diss track on Kendrick to get back into what it was.
I would say this, and I think that this is the thing that a lot of people need to understand. Kendrick Lamar is without the battle with Drake, he's still the top guy. You know what I'm saying? Without the battle, like people can understand, he still is that guy. You release albums every year, every couple of years, still get album of the year, still get multiple awards. He's that guy. But you know why he's different from J. Cole? He's willing to lose it all. He's willing to put it all on the line.
That's right.
That's why he's in the position he's in. People could say whatever they want, but J. Cole is not willing to lose it all. Same thing with even though I don't like Drake, I gotta respect Drake because he was willing to put it all on the line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is how I feel about these two. But when we get into the thing about Freddie Gibbs, I'm gonna explain why I think Gibbs doing what he did is a smart move.
Yeah, and I love it too. So Freddie Gibbs came out and he made those comments that we just discussed about the J. Cole Clouds record that came out.
Mm-hmm.
So an online debate started out in the blog rooms. It was a little bit in my hip hop group and in hip hop roundtable reviews. And people actually started comparing, like, is Freddie Gibbs better than J. Cole? Is Freddie Gibbs got a better catalog than him? And listen, like I said, in my personal opinion, Freddie Gibbs is in my big three from this generation. I would probably say it's Kendrick, Freddie Gibbs, and probably J. Cole. I would still have J. Cole in there right now, tentatively. You know what I mean? Drake, he's a distant whatever. You know what I mean? Because he hasn't put out a great record in a while. I would even say, and this is another debate for another day, I'd say Freddie Gibbs, to me, his catalog could almost rival Kendrick's. I'm almost willing to go there, But people were really chalking this up. And people were saying, yo, Freddie Gibbs' catalog might wash J. Cole's. And I'm like, wow, that's a bit much. And even talking about who's the better rapper and better lyricist. But I just want to get your take on that. Like, who has the better catalog? Would it be Freddie Gibbs or would it be J. Cole, in your opinion?
I might have to give the slight edge maybe to Freddie. And the reason why, because to me, a lot of people say J. Cole has one certified classic, and that would be Forest Hill. I think he has two.
Okay.
But I will say Born Sinner.
Born Sinner's up there.
My favorite J. Cole album. But I don't think that Forest Hill Drive is better than Pinata. You know what I'm saying? I just don't.
I got you on that. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's better than that.
Yeah,
but the reason why I would say I gave Freddie the edge because his album's been consistently good. It wasn't like, oh, this album was bad or this album wasn't good.
That's what I said. You can't see no real weak spots in his catalog. Like, all right, I put it. This is way I see it. Right, this is the way I chalk up the scorecard. Like, Freddie Gibbs, Pinata, and Alfredo are certified classics. Okay, there's no debating that. Bandana was close. That was like an album of the year. But even if you go to Beyond a Shadow of a Doubt, Soul separately, you only the one he just put out last year, You Only Die Once, they still dope albums. J. Cole, I'll give you Forest Hill Drive is a clear-cut, all the way classic. Maybe one of the best of that era, but off-season, like borderline, like album of the year, dope record. I think Born Sinner. I'm starting to think Born Sinner is the second best. That may be borderline classic. Okay, but after that, where are you gonna go? KOD. Might Delete Later. That's a dope record. I like Might Delete Later, but some people weren't really feeling it. And For Your Eyes Only, that was weak, bro. And Cold World, I just think is an overrated debut album. Oh my god, I think that was so overrated.
Yeah.
Mr. Nice Watch. You know what I mean?
Friday Night Friday Night Lights was better than Cold World to me.
But here's the thing: Friday Night Lights is a mixtape.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I agree with that. Now, if we're gonna throw in mixtapes, now Gibbs got some mixtapes too, so that's another debate. But if we're talking just albums here, J. Cole's catalog has some weak points in it that Freddie Gibbs don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, and I have to be honest here. I honestly like J. Cole more than Freddie Gibbs. But if we go on the catalog, I will say, and there's a big difference between people got to understand. There's a big difference between rapping ability and lyricism. People got to understand it's not the same. People think that rapping and lyrics is not the same. Once we get into that, I'll explain why I feel that way. I feel about those two. But him taking the shot, Gibbs, is a masterful thing to do because J. Cole is the weakest link out of the big three. So in order for him to get to that spot, he has to shoot down one of them. He's not going to shoot down Kendrick because he's too powerful. Drake, why would he shoot Drake down? Because he already got shot by this guy. So the easiest target to go after is J. Cole. Now the thing is, J. Cole is still a super good lyricist, but Freddie Gibbs is also. And Freddie Gibbs coming at him would make a great battle for J. Cole to actually redeem himself.
That's interesting.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna go at Kendrick. Yeah. That's not gonna happen. They're gonna say his name. No, they're not gonna do that. And I don't think that Gibbs should jump out the window and go after Kendrick either, because that's just too much. But him going
he doesn't
is actually pretty,
I see that.
It's a pretty good move because J. Cole is the weakest right now, and he has the chink in his armor, and he can okay, I see where your weakness is at. I could get you, and he has a problem with him already. He's been calling him out. So my thing is, I want to see how J. Cole responds to this, because I know is 100% ready for this. 100% ready. So I want to see it right here. You can't say the same thing you said about Kendrick. Oh, that's my boy. Take your best shot. Nah, because this guy ain't your boy. Now we can see what you really made of. Now, if he battles him, and even if he loses, I could get some respect back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So
you think, so you actually think this is going to carry on? You think there are going to be more shots fired out of this? A
real MC, he will not let that slide. If you coming at Kanye and you coming at Lil Pump and all them drill rappers, but you ain't gonna say nothing to this guy, that's 2 L's, because you backed out of Kendrick, so you're gonna dip off on Freddie Gibbs too.
But see, here's the thing. Here's a double-edged sword about that one. If he goes in response to Gibbs now, it kind of makes him even look worse with the Kendrick thing. But I see where you're going with it, because he didn't take it lightly, really, when Kendrick came out on Like That. So obviously he shouldn't take these shots lightly. You know what I mean? Which was basically on Twitter. I'm gonna let you know right now, Freddie Gibbs is definitely ready for this. Like he's waiting for a real lyrical battle. He's not gonna hold no punches. Trust and believe on that. You know what I mean? Because
I would say I kind of agree that it would be bad for him. The reason why, and it's not me actually accepting his apology, but he did say that they were friends. Yeah, him and Freddie is not friends. That's true. He used that excuse with Kendrick. So some people will let him pass it because I see people like, yes, I'm glad he apologized. People love it that he did that. We need some type of humility in rap now. Like,
yeah.
I think that with him and Gibbs, he can get some respect back because, truth be told, Gibbs is right there. It's not like he's like all the way up here. Like we are real hip hop listeners, so we know where people are ranked at. Gibbs is right there. There's a couple other people, but I'm just going to use Gibbs because Gibbs is directly coming at you. And Kendrick said something about you and you jumped out the window, right? And then you apologize. Here's your chance to say, you know what? I'm gonna go full-fledged on you. And I'm gonna show y'all that I'm gonna show you everything I said. I'm gonna show y'all. But I don't think he's
man. I never looked at it from that angle, but I'm thinking about it now and the way because what I could see happening is J. Cole is gonna sub him. J. Cole is gonna say something subliminal to Freddie. And I can see Freddie coming out and calling his name out. Like Freddie's not gonna hold back. And then it's gonna be, okay, J. Cole, is J. Cole gonna come with a song on Freddie? So I could actually see this playing out, and I like it, man. I like this. I actually like this, and you make a good point. Like this is time for J. Cole really to get back in the competitive conversation again. This is a great way to do it with two, I'd say, pretty equal MCs, man. If they're not going to be in the big three or whatever, they're definitely in the top 10. Top 7 or 8 of this era. I mean, I don't know who you're going to think is better as far as artists are concerned, you know. So, and you know what? You convinced me. I want to see this now.
I think
you actually convinced me, man. I wasn't thinking that way, but I want to see this battle. Yes.
J. Cole got to stop being a docile lion, man. That's his problem. He's a docile lion.
Yeah.
Stop being that. He gotta stop being so sweet. It's like, bro, you good at what you do, but you sweet. And it's like, nah, bro. We need.
Tell them how it is, man.
We need, because people can say whatever they want to say. Let's just remove Drake and Kendrick. Let's put Cole at the top. So nobody's supposed to actually battle this guy. Nobody's supposed to say anything. So he's supposed, because every rapper that was on top, people throw rocks at the throne. That's how it goes. So even if J. Cole is
get tested,
somebody, because people will argue that people said this before, like that came out. People were saying that J. Cole was the best in the game. Because remember, he was doing all them features. He was the best, and he was killing all them features. Oh, he the best. He the best. People were saying on a podcast, "Oh, Kung Fu Kenny don't want you. Better stay away from that boy Jermaine Cole." Then when he came out, he exposed his heart. And I think J. Cole don't have no heart. You know what I'm saying? Now he want to be, I don't want to do, nah, bro. You can't be saying you the best in your verses and you doing all this, and then you turn around and I don't want to fight, but nah, I'm the best in the game. I'm better than everybody. Nobody can stop me. Nah, bro. I don't want to.
Can't do that, man.
Can't do that, bro.
Can't do that.
Can't do it.
That's interesting, man. But yeah, you convinced me, man. Like that might not be a bad. That's real hip hop right there. If these two go at it, so definitely would be interesting. I'm real.
That's more. Yeah. That's closer to more pure hip hop than Drake and Kendrick.
You're right about that.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Right about that one.
That's more because Freddie Gibbs is not a commercial artist, and people were saying that J. Cole is not a commercial artist. They literally pure MCs.
This is a good battle, man. We definitely gotta see that, man. But you know, unlike you, I'm really interested in Fall Off. Yeah. Like now is he gonna answer Gibbs on something? Will he reference Kendrick again and be more aggressive about it? Like, is he really going to be, you know, the real hip hop hero and represent for the culture on Fall Off? I'm really looking for, that's going to be a really big album, man. You know, I'm really looking forward to that. No matter what. Yeah.
It's on his album. They did a song. Him and Drake got a song. Him and Drake.
Oh, another. I could see
You guys
that.
don't-
Which I mean, I don't know how to feel about that anymore, man. Like Port Antonio, that song is I can't stand that song. That is just it's like you begging for him to be your friend again.
Yeah, he revealed a lot in that song. That's why I say
Oh my God.
I think the
Yeah.
reason why J. Cole don't want to battle nobody
Mhm.
is because I believe that J. Cole, he don't really want to battle anybody because he don't really like defending himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I could see that. I could see if people think that Kendrick went hard on Drake, you could just
Yeah.
imagine how hard Freddie's gonna go on this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And call him out. And that's another thing. Cole never been called out on a lot of stuff. He never been called out, actually. To be honest with you. I
yeah.
never heard call him out. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody said he's always been the guy that's everybody's friend, but he's never been called
Because
out.
he's like the happy hero. I'm Mr. Real Hip Hop. Get behind me. Like I'm the guy that's always rapping. I'm not doing all this, I'm the anti turn up, anti drill guy spitting for the culture. But when the real guy from the culture comes for you, nah, I'm cool.
Yeah,
Even though
yeah.
I said the first shot on 7 minute drill. Nah, I'm
Nope.
cool. I just wanted to spar a little bit. Nah.
That's what I'm saying. He I think that J. Cole is very interesting. It's a very interesting place he's in. Because we don't really know if him and Drake are still friends. But we know I can't mess with him. And they just clearly said that on GNX.
Oh
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Nigga love
Yeah.
this nigga. This
Oh,
with him, bro.
yeah.
Man, I just don't know what to say sometimes, man. I I never seen nothing like it. That's all I'm gonna say. I never seen nothing like it.
It's wild, man. These battles are not what we were used to coming up. This was definitely not the 50 Cent and Nas and Jada Kiss and Jay-Z era. It's definitely not that. But it's got a new what I'll say, it's got a new life of its own, especially with social media and the back and forth with the fans and all of their different narratives they put out there and the bloggers. It's entertaining. That's all I got to say.
You know why that is? With the
Yeah,
reason why is with the reason, and it's gonna sound kind of weird, but it's the truth. It's really a street guy versus a college guy and versus a guy from the middle aged family. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Think
Middle
about it.
class family.
Like,
Yeah,
so you got a guy who's from middle class who just so happens to rap and is very popular, who's not street, so he don't
yeah.
understand how battling works. And then you got a guy who's not from the street either. You know what I'm saying? And Kendrick is from that. So that's why I think Kendrick Lamar resonates more with the older rappers because they like, oh, this guy's he's not
From Compton, California, man. You don't
yeah.
get more street than that.
And I think that that's why we kind of fell into this because I mean, let's be honest. J. Cole is not J. Cole, but Drake is the social media rapper. Just be honest.
That's a good point.
He's a
That's
social
a
media.
very good point.
You know what I'm saying?
He
And
knows how to play social media so well.
yeah. Now J.
And
Cole,
yeah,
he's a great artist, but I think that what Kendrick said about Drake can kind of apply to J. Cole as well. And I think that's why J. Cole really don't want to battle Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? He could apply the same thing. It'd be a little bit different, but it can apply the same thing. But I think Freddie will, without
Oh,
shadow of a doubt. I'm telling you, he's going to do that.
interesting battle, man. That's gonna be real interesting. Anyway, thanks again for joining us. Thanks again, Funeral Man, for joining us. We're gonna have Thursday night a very interesting battle to come up. Stay tuned for that. Definitely, we'll have that come up. I'll put that information out there. about the next album battle that's going to be very interesting with my man Funeral Man from Torture Talk and my homie Ansem from BLG Bootleg Gang. We're going to come on. We're probably going to do that on Thursday night. So stay tuned for that. And with that, y'all have a good night. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. And we will be back in a couple of days with our next album battles. Definitely stay tuned for that. All right. And with that, y'all have a good night. And I'll see y'all soon. All right. Peace.